Have you ever been in the process of developing yourself in a hobby or a profession, and another option seemed more attractive and better? Why is it that at the first challenge you face, you drop what you're doing and get caught up in the glow of the other option? If you hadn't given up at the beginning of the process, maybe you would be an expert in that field now. Imagine someone who starts a new hobby every month and leaves all projects unfinished. Why doesn't he let his other work come to an end? He's always looking for something new. And when he's already reached a certain point in his old work, what do you think drives you so much to look for something new? Is it that the other option is more accessible? Is it the lure of success or the thrill of the unknown? Let's answer all these questions. If you are still not subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe by pausing the video. One of the biggest problems of today's people is the lack of focus. We all have this problem. Just when we are concentrating on a task, suddenly something else grabs our attention and we start following it. When we're working in a concentrated way, we get distracted by a notification. Even when we go on YouTube to search for something, we forget what we're supposed to be looking for and watch the video that grabs our attention. It's called SOS. Shiny Object Syndrome. Shiny Object Syndrome can be defined as the tendency to constantly gravitate towards new and attractive things that can immediately grab a person's attention. This is very dangerous in 2024, when stimuli are ready to attack our attention, because nowadays, almost everything is presented to us in a shiny way. It affects the decision-making process. Evolutionarily speaking, we like the new, the novelty. To survive, our ancestors had to explore new territories and find new food sources. We still carry their motivation with us. This natural inclination towards the unknown is still with us today. Factors that increase the frequency of its occurrence. The lure of the unknown. Humans, unlike animals, love adventure and the thrill of encountering the unknown. Trying or discovering something new activates the reward center in our brains. This makes new ideas and projects more interesting. The lure of success. The stage of starting a new project can often be exciting and full of hope for success. However, in the process of achieving success, we face various challenges. For this reason, many people abandon ongoing projects and start projects where they can achieve success more quickly. Social media. These platforms constantly show the successes and new projects of others. This leads people to think that they are less successful and less worthy than others. Remember, people don't share the difficulties and failures of their lives on social media platforms. They only share things that make them feel good. On social media platforms, you will often see people laughing, but you are very unlikely to see them crying. On these platforms, you often see people receiving awards, but you're unlikely to see them working through the night crying. It's actually called the duck syndrome. When ducks swim, they look like they're not exerting any effort. But in fact, they're constantly working their legs down there. We shouldn't let what we see on social media platforms put pressure on us. Distractions and sudden inspirations. Quick distractions can reduce your work efficiency. And worse, it can make you think you don't want to do it. Thinking about it makes you ask yourself, am I wasting time dealing with this? Actually, you just needed some focus. When inspiration for something new comes to you, you may want to put all your focus there. It's quite harmful to transfer all your focus and motivation to your new hobby. Unfinished business causes new tabs to open in our minds, just like new tabs open in a web browser. This causes us to work more slowly, just like browsers. It makes us work less efficiently by occupying our minds with more things. I realize it's quite a challenge. If you're watching this video, you're looking for a solution. Dealing with this situation requires focus and determination. When you have these, the solution will be very easy to find. Some strategies you can use. Willpower. Determination is what we need to deal with a situation or to gain expertise in a field. Determination means to keep doing what we do, even in the face of difficult circumstances, with the same motivation and without ever thinking of giving up. We must have a strong will for this behavior. When faced with a challenge, you should be able to say, "Yes, there are challenges on this path, and I set out on this journey knowing these difficulties," is a good demonstration of willpower. You have heard that it takes 10,000 hours of work to become an expert in something. Knowing that those 10,000 hours include negative situations prevents you from losing motivation. When SOS tries to convince you, you have to resist. When SOS convinces you, remind yourself of the progress you have made and the possible consequences of giving up. I realize I've said a lot about willpower, but the most important ingredient for dealing with this situation is willpower. Create concrete goals. Goals need to be specific about what you are working on. Once you have defined them, you need to break them down into actionable steps. Because in the process, not being able to see your progress and not knowing what level you are at increases your chances of giving up. When you have a roadmap to follow, it will be easier to resist the temptation of shiny objects because you are focused on the most important tasks. Remembering your goals every day will help you. Once you have achieved your daily goals, it is good to set your goals for the next day. When you have a well-defined plan, you are protected from harmful thoughts or distractions. When you are busy making progress on your current project, shiny objects lose their luster and you don't even entertain the idea of starting something new. Prioritizing and time management. Setting priorities and focusing on important projects can prevent distractions. Effective time management allows you to work on projects in a more controlled way. I cover this topic in more detail in our video on procrastination. I recommend you to watch that too. Finish what you start for motivation. I know it's not easy. Mentally imagine the situation where the work is finished. Remember the feeling of relief and satisfaction at the end of past projects. Our mind has a reward mechanism. Every task we complete successfully triggers the reward mechanism. When we leave projects unfinished, we don't get these rewards. The motivation and self-confidence we gain from the work we complete increases the likelihood of success in the next projects. After watching this video, I think you will be better at sustaining your attention. What do you think? Please share your thoughts with me in the comments. Keep improving until the next video. See you soon.